So, if you are anything like me, you have been missing art, you've been missing the act of drawing and then getting messy with paint, and just really missing like that aspect of thinking like an artist and really getting to let your mind wander and, ready, SpongeBob moment, use your imagination, which I know I've been missing a lot, and I really miss you guys, getting to work with you guys as well. So I spent last week, I know last week was kind of crazy with learning how to do stuff online, and hopefully this week we're better prepared. So last week I spent all my time trying to figure out ways I can still bring art to you guys. I know not everyone has paint at home or different art materials, so I've been trying to figure out ways to do that. I'm going to make some online art lessons for you guys so you can still get to make art. One of those things I also want to do is I want to bring a story time to you guys about different artists, books about different art, because I think it's really important for us to still get to make art. The first book that I've decided to do is about an artist who she lived a really, really rough life, and she had some sad moments, and she still made art. She used that free time to make art, and I think it's really important for us to do the same. I know that we're stuck inside, and if you're like me, you really want to move and you want to be doing stuff, it's hard to be cooped up, but you can also use this time to think like an artist, to make stuff and keep working on your craft. The first book is about Frida Kahlo. I know a couple of you guys have talked about her in the past, and she is one of my favorite artists. This book was written about Frida. She did not write it herself, but this book is called Frida. It was, the author is Jonah, which means that he wrote the book, and it was illustrated by Anna Wan, which means that Anna was the one that drew all of these beautiful images we're going to see in the book. And this book kind of covers her whole life, and in just a minute we're going to talk about it. That being said, let's go ahead and get started with it. Frida enters the world. For little Frida, the world is Mexico. Her house is a blue house. It is in the town of Coycacan. It's Frida's house, so we see that's blue. These are all different things that Frida has either painted or renditions of it. So Frida's father is an artist and a photographer. He teaches her how to use a paintbrush. So we know that Frida's father is an artist. This is a really old way of taking a photograph. So he is standing underneath that, and the light exposure is how he's taking that. So Frida's mother takes care of 6 daughters. Often she is tired. So if there's 6 daughters plus Frida, her mom has 7. Often Frida is lonely, even though she has sisters. So this is going to be Frida. That's her mom and her sisters. Enter stage left. Frida's imaginary friend. Her name is also Frida. So we have Frida and then her imaginary friend. They play games. All of a sudden, Frida falls very ill. She's in bed for months. There's something wrong with one of her legs. Even her imaginary friends can't cheer her. That's when Frida teaches herself how to draw. Drawing saves Frida from being sad. After Frida gets well, she still wants to make art, so she paints little paintings. They are copies of other paintings. Painting on photographs is what Frida's father does for a living. He teaches her how to do this too. So Frida's dad is showing her what he does at work. Frida also paints things she sees through a microscope. She likes looking at things very, very closely. So a microscope is something that allows us to see very, very small things super close up. At school, Frida studies science. She's bored. School is too easy. One day, Frida is riding the bus home from school. So this would be Frida, by the way. You can always notice Frida Kahlo because she always has a signature unibrow. A horrible accident happens on her ride to school. A trolley runs into a bus and Frida almost dies. In the hospital, it is painting that saves her once again. Painting is like her imaginary friend. It is there whenever she wants it. It keeps her company and it keeps her from giving up hope. After that accident, life will never be the same. She'll have to walk with a cane when she is able to walk, and her body will hurt. But Frida doesn't cry or complain. Instead, she paints pictures of herself crying. So she's still showing that emotion, but she's showing it through her artwork. Art is about expression, and Frida's using it as a way to express herself. When Frida can't leave her bed, she paints in bed. When her whole torso is put into a cast, she paints onto her cast. So she's painting her cast. Nothing can stop Frida from painting because she's so often alone, unable to leave her house. She has to use her imagination. She paints what she sees in her heart on top of what she sees with her eyes. It's almost like painting on photographs. So in this image, we see all sorts of things that could be going on. Her reality, or what she sees with her eyes, is Frida painting herself or painting. So she draws that, and on top of it, she adds things that she either likes or loves on top of it. Very similar to what her dad does for a living. So she paints little magical scenes with words at the bottom. All over Mexico, people paint these kinds of scenes. Sometimes they're scenes of accidents with angels coming to the rescue. They're like prayers for people who are sick. They're called exvotos. Frida paints exvotos of herself when she is sick or in pain. Frida imitates no one in her style. Her paintings are like nothing else. In museums, people still look at them and weep and sigh and smile. She turns her pain into something beautiful. It is like a miracle. Long live Frida. So, just a little bit of backstory about Frida Kahlo. So we've seen why she gets, why her life was hard. But just so you guys have a little bit more, when she was 7 years old was when she was sick and put into the hospital for almost a year. She was stricken with polio, which caused one of her legs to shrink, and she had to walk with a limp. During that time, she still made art. It was still important to her. I think it's really important for us, even during these times of, being stuck inside, for us to still make art. So I want you guys to still make art. I want you to realize that it's still important.